Hello there, welcome to another video tutorial, another big tech video tutorial. Last class we looked at introducing a Linux server to the network, and that went pretty well. So we're going to continue from that class studies into this video. And in today's video we're going to look at the topics on our screen. Modifying the network settings of a Linux server from the command line. We did that, while introducing the Linux server to the network, but we did it from the GUI, from the level of the GUI. Excuse me. So today we're going to look at the network settings from the command line. In the absence of a GUI, how can you do it? So we're going to look at that. And we're also going to look at the SCP command. This means secure copy. Next, run levels in Linux, and how to disable the GUI, the graphical user interface in Linux. So without much ado, I'm just going to minimize this and bring up my server. So I have my server up and running, and we introduced the Linux server to the network last time from the level of the GUI. This is the GUI we're looking at right now, the graphical user interface, where you see the desktop and desktop icons. And if you remember quite right, we did, while introducing this Linux server to the network, we had to come to this network icon. We clicked on it and followed, certain procedures. But say in the absence of a GUI like this, where you have just a black screen, how do you do it? So to do that, we got, we need to know the file involved. I'm gonna be making notes as we go. So back to my notepad. The first one. Define the network. Okay. I just put CLI, which means command line interface. CLI means command line interface. Okay. So to do this, there is a file involved. So file involved. Is this file. This is the file involved. It's sysconfig. I might have mentioned something about this file before. It is sysconfig, but this is a complete file for the network settings of a Linux server. It is sysconfig network-scripts -ifcfg-eth0. The name, remember, eth0. So this is the file involved. The file we'll be working with, the sysconfig network, the scripts, S here, very important, ifcfg-eth0. And so that's the file involved. So what if we have to display the entire network configuration settings of the server? To do that, we're going to cut this file. Okay, so let's get organized right here. Let's say display network settings. Display entire network settings. Network configuration settings. Linux server. So to do that, we're going to cut. Okay, we cut this file. So I'm just going to copy this, paste it right here. So that's the command in order to display this. Okay, or we do this, or we do our regular nm-2. Okay, so let's go back to our server. Okay, so first I'm going to cut that file. Remember, you only can do this if you're root. So I cut sysconfig network scripts, then s fcfg -eth0. So that is the sysconfig network scripts -ifcfg eth0 and hit enter. So after doing that, it displays all the network configuration information. We boot right now to DHCP. We use our IPv4. Our nickname is eth0, which is correct. On boot is yes. If on boot is set to no, when on boot is set to no and the system boot is not going to connect to the internet, it's not going to have internet connection. Okay, so that's one thing you also got to keep in mind when introducing the net. If you introduce your network to internet and it doesn't work, you could VI into this file or cut this file and come check if on boot is set to yes or no, and there you make that correction as needed. So that's it. So normally what we do is we VI into this file and do right now it is properly set up. And let's say we had to do some modifications to introduce the system to the network from the command line interface. Okay, that's not doing it from the GUI like we did in previous class. So we will follow the other steps of, we saw before, changing the host name, using the various files involved. I hope you still know the files involved in changing the host name. The host, we will display a current host name using the command host name or uname-n, and then we check the file for etc6config network and the etc host file. We'll bring that up. If you remember quite right, the fact that we had to modify the etc config network. We had to modify that file, go into that file and change the host name. We also have to modify the etc host. We have to go into these files and change the host name. Remember, we also have to manually change the host name by using the command host name. Okay, we did all of that, and then now we modify the IP address and DNS settings, which we did at the level of the GUI. Then after doing all the host name change and we have to modify IP address and DNS settings, we do that by coming to this file. It's sysconfig network scripts I've saved it eth0. Okay, this is my machine. Let me eth1. Okay, now since this server of mine has two nicknames and IC names, so it didn't give me the full information because I cut the wrong nickname. Okay, so I did not cut the right nickname. I just remember, so which is ETH1. And if yours will only be ETH0, so when you cut ETH0 like I did before, it's going to give you all this full information. Okay, now this is what I was looking for. So the boot, it displays your current IP address, which you modified at the level of the GUI. The subnet mask set to 24, which we did at the level of the GUI, if you remember. The default gateway, we set it that, so DNS information right there, some other DNS information right there, you see. So what else? The boot order or IPv4, we're using it. IPv6 is set to no. The nickname ETH1, yours will be ETH0 because still a new server. Okay, so this is a faster route to introduce a server to the network. You just VI into this file, VI into this file, and we've done VI already, in set mode. You change your IP address to the static IP you wanted to use. You set your default gateway, you change the nickname, you set the DNS settings. On boot mode be set to yes. If it's on no, you save and quit, and you do a service network restart. Hope you remember this command. Service network restart, and that's going to restart the network settings, applying the new settings or configuration settings you've inserted to introduce your system to the network. So this line of etc sysconfig network that scripts that's ifcfg eth your case 0. It's a important file to always remember, have it at the back of your head, and that's how we modify the network settings of a Linux server from the command line, okay, without having to go into the GUI. Okay, let's proceed. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. The next on our list is the SCP command. So number 2 is the SCP command. Okay. SCP means I just mentioned before, secure copy. Okay, and put the S in uppercase. SCP means secure copy. Okay, give some little notes on this. SCP means secure copy. SCP is used to transfer files and directories from one Linux platform to another. Okay, so it's used to transfer files and directories from one Linux or Unix platform to another. Okay. Also, the points to take note about SCP: transmits encrypted data, encrypted data, uses port 22, of course. And if you use port 22, what else should I tell you about? it uses SSH, right? Yeah, also this SSH. In order for that to work, SSH has to be enabled in your server or the server that you're using. So that is SCP. Let me give a little diagrammatic explanation of the SCP command. Okay, so in an effort to explain how the SCP command works in our Linux server, I'm just going to do some diagrammatic presentation right here. I hope my screen can be seen. So real quick, you see the SCP command is, the SCP command will say admin secured copy. It's used to transfer files and directory from one Linux server to the other, or a Unix server to another, or to a Unix server to a Linux server, or Linux server to a Unix server. And it transmits encrypted data. Okay, which means the data that is transferred from one server to the other is encrypted, is protected. Okay, encrypted means it's protected, and in that process of transferring the data, you don't want it to be vulnerable to attacks, or you don't want it to be hacked, or that kind of a thing. And it uses port 22, and it uses SSH, which means SSH has to be enabled in both servers for a smooth transfer of files or directories or data from one Linux platform to another. Okay, so looking at our screen, let's say we have local server right here. This is our server, and on this other side we have what I call a remote server. Okay, and this is our remote server right there. Okay, now this local server could be your server on your PC, on your laptop PC, and the remote server could be a big server sitting somewhere in some warehouse or elsewhere. And never mind me saying remote server, we could demonstrate this using two servers on our VMware. So we're going to get to that very quick. So this is our Linux server right here. Okay, so our Linux server, and in this Linux server we have a file called this file. Okay, and in this remote server is also a Linux server. I'm going to write that down here. Okay, so it's a remote Linux server, and in this server we have an account called we have GDO's account right there. Okay, let me do some corrections. Take this out. Okay, we have GDO's account created in this server. Okay, and the home directory for GDO's account is home GDO, right? Remember that, home GDO. Now with SCP, we want to transfer this file called test file into this remote directory. Okay, and to do that safely, we use the SCP command, okay, to make a smooth transfer into GDO's account. Okay, and we do that using SCP. And what does SCP and we can as well transfer from here back into this other server, still using SCP. Okay, so SCP is necessary to establish such a secure, transfer of data. Okay, but for such transfer to be successful, certain information is needed from either side of the server, from whichever you're transferring to and from. Okay, let's say I'm sitting in my local Linux server, and I want to transfer this test file into JDO's home directly to JDO's account, JDO's home directly to JDO for him to see it. Okay, I'm going to need there's certain information I'm going to need from this JDO's server in order to make that successful transfer of that test file. One, I'm going to need the IP address of that server. I'm going to need login information, JDO's login information, like username only, username, and I'm just going to need password, okay, for his account. Makes sense, because without these three information, you can move because the server is secure, right? You can successfully do that transfer. So that is how the SCP command operates on a Linux server. It moves files from one server to the other securely. And you can also be sitting in your local server and you request a file or directory from this remote server or this other server to come to you sitting in your server. Okay, and we're going to see how to do that, command to do that, and this procedure to do that. And to do that, you're still going to need IP address, username, and password. Okay, good. So I hope that diagrammatic explanation makes sense. I'm just going to minimize this and proceed. Okay. I'm going to bring on my server. So based on our diagram, for us to do an SCP, it says transmit and encrypt from one platform to the Linux server or to another. So we need two servers up and running. Okay, I have this new CentOS server. You should have this server as well. Remember, we cloned the server in one of our classes. So I have another server which I'm going to bring up. This is another server right here. So these are my two servers. Okay, so I'm going to use a little example. Let's see now. Okay, before we do that, let's look at the command format for the SCP command. So it's going to be something like the SCP, the file transfer space, SCP space, the file to transfer, and then destination info. Okay, destination info that you want, where the file will go to. Okay, put this in bracket, file transfer. Now for directory transfer, the SCP -r. Okay, directory, the directory you want to transfer, and then the destination info. Okay, good. So let's see. Let's do this little example. Exercise. So if I say create a file called test file and transfer it to another Linux server in SCP. And transfer it to this way to GTOS account, GTOS home directory. Good. So we're going to do this. So I have created a file called test file, okay, and transfer it to GTOS home directory in another Linux server using SCP. Okay. So to do that, we need setting information, right? We need the IP address. We need to find out if there is an account in this other server called GDO, and then a user account, right? So I'm going to transfer from this server with the GUI. This is server 1, and transfer from there into server 2. Okay. So first and foremost, I'm going to create the file called test file. Do we have test file existing before in our server? Let's verify with the ls. There is no file called test file in there. Okay, so the question requires create a file. So how do we create a file? Using the touch command. I'm going to touch a file called test file. Okay, test file has been created. Let's verify ls again. And where is it? There it is right there. Test file has been created now. Before it wasn't created. The test file has been created. And I move to this other server, server 2. Okay. Now, you see, the question requires that file should be copied to GTOS home directory. Okay. Now, is there any account in this server? Any user account in this server called GTOS? Username called. Let's verify. How do we verify? We can cat the etc password command, or we can just do tail to get just a few last lines. Tail-5 what etc password, and give us the last few lines. There is no user account here called JDO, so we have JPAM or JohnPAM. There is nothing called JDO. So in order to completely answer that question, we have to create a user account, right? What's the command to create a user account? User add, right? That's C, put in quotes. And now the question didn't give me JTOS full names, so I'm going to skip the .c, which is a comment feature to create a full name, so we don't need that, right? So I'm going to put my user add -d, okay, and /home JTOS, right? The directory, right? I'm going to put my -m for the account name, and it's JTOS. There you go. So we just skip one thing. User add -d for home directory, home JTOS -m JTOS, and hit enter. that account has been created, right? Now let's go back and verify. I didn't verify. I can cut, but I'll just do my tail one more time. Just record that command, and there it is. Home JDO. JDO has been created. The only difference now is JDO has no full name like in this JPAM right here with the full name. Okay, it has just this home directory, home J. There's full name, home directory, home JPAM, and well the shell, like it said, which in this case there is no full name. We have the home directory and the bash shell. Alright, so now we know the account JDO has been created. The account also have a password, so what we have to give it a password, right? Pass WD1 JDO, assigning a password. What's our password? School1. Let's type it again. School1. Password has been taken. So we created an account now, the user account called JDO, and assign a password to it. So now we can now carry out this exercise, using the SCP command. But there are more information we need to know at the back of our head before we proceed. One, we need to know the IP address, because we are copying from this server to this server, and we need the IP address of this server, this black screen server. Okay, so how do we verify the IP address? ifconfig, right? Hit enter, and that's my IP address right there for this black screen server, 10.0.0.203. So remember that. Okay, now so back into our notes, I'm going to give us the full-fledged command to answer this question. Then we're going to apply that in our server. So exercise, I'm going to write this as solution. So what will be the command? This is how the command is going to flow. SCP, right? The file is called test file. Copying test file into JDO's account. So I write the username here is JDO with the @ symbol. Okay. Copy JDO in, put the IP address 10.0.0.203. Did I get it right? Let's double check. Yeah, 203. Okay, I put a column, not a semicolon, a column, and I put JDO's home directory path, which is home JDO. That is how our command is going to be in our GUI server. Okay, so SCP, the command SCP, the file I'm copying is called test file. Keep in mind there is a space in between. Test file, I'm copying test file into JDO's home directory. This account, and JDO is sitting in a different server. JDO in this server, identify the server via the IP address, and then colon and JDO's home directory path, home JDO. So let's do that. Okay, so come to this is the server we have the test file created, right? Alright, SCP space test file space JDO at, put the IP address of my black screen server, okay, which is 10.0.0.203. to my column, I put the path of JDO's home directory, which is /home/JDO. What else? I hit enter. Okay, connect to to content connection refused, lost connection. So it failed. SSH. Why did it fail? That's okay. You see, that's a good thing. It fails, so something is wrong somewhere. Let's verify. So that's the server who started IP of 10.0.203. Let's see if we can ping. Let's see if we can ping Facebook.com. Okay, it is pinging Facebook. Ping correctly. Ping 8. Okay. So SSH is stopped. So it didn't work because SSH is not working. Right. This is a good scenario right here. It's SSH connection to the reverse button to connection failed. And I just came back to the server and I checked the status of SSH. SSH is not working. See, this OpenSSH daemon is stopped. So to enable that, remember in our notes we said use this port 20 to also use SSH. So SSH is not working in the server, and for that copy to be done, we have to enable SSH. This is a really good scenario. So let's go ahead and enable SSH. Enable this thing work. What's the command to enable SSH? Let's first set so SSH is not working, so check. So we're going to start SSH. So command is set SSH d start. This SSH d start. So we just started SSH. We're gonna make it next steps, make it permanent. So check config SSH d. Check config SSH d on. Okay. Okay. So let's check it again. This is the status. The SSH is running now. Okay, so let's come back to this server and try that command one more time. And hit enter. Are you sure you want to continue connecting? So it's asking you that question. And I say yes. Oh, I got that the full yes. Now it's asking me for JDOS password. You see like we did. So school 1, boom, and boom, the file has been copied using SSH. Okay, and there is our test file sitting right there, has been copied. So we successfully copied this test file from this GUI server 1 to the black screen server. Let's verify if that copy really went through. We copied it into JDOS account. So to do that, we have to move. Right now I'm in super user, so I gotta go to JDOS account. So su, remember our su command, JDOS, and I'm sitting in JDOS account right now. So I'm going to ls, and there's our file, test file. Test file was never created in JDOS account. It's a new account I just created, and I didn't do anything in it. It was the first time moving to JDOS account, user account, and you see that's the file they fully copied. So we successfully copied that file from one server to another server securely using the SCP command. That is beautiful. So, and I'm glad, SSH didn't work and we had to go back and enable it in this server you know, and that's also a learning process, you know, for us. Okay, and that's how you troubleshoot situations when they arise when working in a real life job environment. You know, you try to do something and it doesn't work, you have to figure out why it's not working. You troubleshoot it and you fix the problem. Okay, so we're done with 1 and 2. The next, oh no, we're not done with the SCP command, excuse me. So we've copied from this server, we move a file from the server to the server. Let's say we are sitting in this server and we want to bring a file from this server into the server we are sitting in. Okay, we want to pull a file from another server. Let's say this black screen server is our remote server. Oops, what happened? Let's say the black screen server is our remote server, and we want to pull a file from the server into the server we are sitting in. Okay, there is a way to do that. So let me write another exercise for that. Okay, let's call this exercise 1. We'll call this exercise 2. Okay. The question says copy the file load from the remote in a case from the black screen server. Normally it's going to be a remote server, but in that case it's going to be a black screen server to your local GUI server. Let me put it that way. Okay. Now, to do the setting information will be giving you, location of the file, the file will be sitting in home JDO. Okay. Identification info, information you need. Information you need username. Username is JDO. Okay. Password. We know the password for the school one. That's all we need, right? And the IP address. The address 10.0.0.03. Okay, so that is the question. So we have to copy sitting in our local server, which is this one, and pull a file from a remote server, which is this black screen server, into this local server. Okay, and that file is in JDO's account, and the file is called load. So, but in my scenario, I don't have that file. So while in JDO's account, I'm going to create a file called load. The file has been created. Okay, let me So what I did, I just cut it's a passage, but I redirected the output into that file called load. I was trying to put data into the file to give it some weight. And if I cut load, it display the information. So all the information is if I just copy it into that file called load. Okay, clear my screen. So back to, let's remind ourselves of our exercise. Is copy the file called load, right, from the BLASTMAN server to your local GUI server. The information given as the home directory where the file is located, the path of the file is in home JDO. Authentication information, we will need the username, the JDO, the password, the school one, and the IP address. Okay, so let's do that. So this is my GUI server, this is my local server, for example, where I'm sitting in, and you have the file in here. Okay, so to do that, so let me put the command, solution, right? So I'm going to call this solution. Okay, to do that, SCP is what we're using. Okay, in this case we start with the username and all the authentication information, okay, before you put the path of the file. Okay, so in our case, SCP, username JDO, right? So it was sitting in that server with the IP of 10.0.0.203. okay, and I'll put my colon again, and I now put the path of the file we want to copy, we want to bring into our server. So then I'm going to put my home JDO. Okay, I give a space. Now I want to copy the file to where I am in my server, right? We have to tell the file where I'm copying it to. So to copy the file to the current place in the server where I'll be sitting, I just put a dot. Okay, give the space and I put a dot. Yeah. The dot represents your current location in your server or in a directory structure. But let's say you want to copy that file to somewhere else where you're not even sitting. You put the absolute path of that location where you want the file to go. Let's say, for example, I want the file to go to, I have another to go to, so it's going to be home. Example can be home student account, and it goes to the directory called my direct. If I want the file to go into that directory, I have to put all this absolute path of where I want the file to go. Okay, and it's going to land in my direct student account in the home. And now I want the file to come to exactly the directory or location, directory location where I'm sitting in the server. To do that, I just put a dot. Okay, so that's the solution to answering this exercise. So I'm going to do that now in my server. And so SCP, I give a space, I put JDO, put my @ symbol, to the 10.0.0.203, which is the IP address of this black script server where the file is sitting. Right. Okay, I put my colon. Now I put the path of the path where the file. Oh, I missed one thing. So home JDO /lord. Okay, that's the full path that the file will copy. File is called lord. So home, the file is sitting in home JDO lord, right? Yes, let's verify that. So ls and just the lord file there, and then working directly home JDO. So it's home JDO lord. Okay, click on. So that's the full path of the file. Right. Go to JTable. This is what I'm going to copy. So I put my SAP user account in the server. This is the IP address used in representing the server. Okay. Put my colon. Put my /, and I put the path of the file home jdo log. Give a space and I put my dot and I hit enter. Good. It asks for the password, which we expect it to do, and we put the password because it was given to us already. And there we go. The file load has been copied into my current location in my server. You see right there, load. It tells you 100%, which means fully copied. That's the size of the file. Is a digital size in kilobytes, 1.5 KB. You know, so let's verify if we really do copy. I can just ls because of where I am, and there is the file right there, load copy. So that's the scp command for us as a system admin. So two things we've done with scp command. One, we copied a file, we moved a file from our current from one server to another, or to a server we are sitting in to another server we are not in. The first thing we did. And secondly, we pulled a file from a server where we are not sitting in to a server where we are sitting in. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Alright, let's keep going. The third thing is run levels in Linux. Okay, let me write that topic down. Well, let me give it run level in Linux. So that is number 3. Big 3. Run levels in Linux. Okay, run levels in Linux. What does it mean? What are run levels? Okay. Now when we say run levels, what we mean are run levels are the different boot up interface, so to speak, that a Linux server can boot up to. You know, there are different modes, boot up modes that the Linux server can boot up to. Okay, so we're going to look at all of those modes, boot up modes that you can boot a Linux server to. There's what we call a save mode, single user mode, which is save mode. Say a server crash and needs to be fixed. If you boot it up regularly as we normally do, it won't boot up properly. It won't boot up because something is wrong. The file has been corrupted. Now there are modes, different modes which you can put the server to go to get access and fix the problem to enable it boot up to the full level, regular level it normally does for user usage. Okay, just like in Windows you have save mode. When the Windows system has problem putting up or get issues, there is what called save mode, where you can put the Windows server to and still have access to major files and folders and still do stuff. So it's a similar thing with Linux. So, and in Linux we call them run levels. Okay, these run levels are also called init levels, init or initialization, initialization mode. So init mode or init, init. You will see the word init, N-I-T, which means initialize. Okay, so let's look at the run levels in Linux. Yeah, 0 to 6. So the first one, I'll be writing the init. I won't call them run levels. Well, they are run. Let's put it this way. Run level init 0. Okay, which is what this does. If you boot to this report, it halts the system. Okay, the next one, run level init 1. You have to know that this put the system to single user mode. Okay, single user mode. So the single user mode is a mode where the server will default to when there is a operating system crash or the root file system is corrupted. Okay, so the single user mode or init 1. Next one is run level or init 2. It's maintenance mode multi sign on. Okay, maintenance mode with multi sign on. Okay, let's run level or init 3. This is standard mode. But with no GUI. Let's put that in caps. No GUI or desktop. We're going to see that. So when you see me like this server I have right here with the black screen, so the server is boot to the standard mode but no GUI. Okay, no desktop. So it's just a black screen that's boot up to the standard mode that the server defaults to and boots. While this other one boots to the standard mode that has a GUI, and that is on level 5 or init 5. So we're not there yet, so let's keep going. One level init 4 is non-applicable, that is not used, and one level init 5 is standard mode with GUI. Okay, so fully functional. This is the mode your system currently boots up to, the init 5 mode, the standard mode, and with the GUI, which is like this that you see. Okay. And the last one, run level init 6, which is the reboot. So if you want to reboot or restart your system, you just type init 6 and it does that for you. It puts the restarts the system. And these are the different run levels in Linux. Okay. So to display the system run level, the command is who-r. Okay. Note. Command who-r is the command. So for example, if I type who-r right now, We clear my screen. -R, we enter. That's my run level right now. So my system is running on run level 5. Okay, run level 5. Using the run level gives you the dates, time. Run level 5. If I display the system run level of the other screen, the black screen, so W-R, and this one is on run level 3. See the difference? And our note says run level 3 standard mode with no GUI. And we are right. This is standard mode with GUI. We are right. Okay. So that is that for run level. Now we continue. So take note of this. Oh, so let's go to the one after the other. Init 0 halts the system. So put the system on a standstill. Okay. Init 1 put the system to single user mode. A single user mode is the mode where only the system, the root or super user would have access to the system. Okay, can access the system. Maybe something went wrong and other users on the account cannot, other user accounts or users on the server cannot access certain files or directories. The system admin will put the server to single user mode, and then you try to troubleshoot and fix the problem. Maintenance mode init 2 is maintenance mode with multi sign on. Okay, this means you can put the system in maintenance mode where the users can still access their account, but the difference is that certain configurations will be inactive, especially network configurations will be inactive in this mode, where they can access some directories and files. So in this mode, login is enabled to the users. The users can log in. Network services they are not enabled, but they can be re-enabled, because it will be offline in this mode. And so it is used for troubleshooting, and also no system daemons are disabled. Like SSH daemon can be disabled in this mode as sign on. Okay, but the single user mode, is also maintenance mode, using troubleshooting, solving situations. Let's say the operating system crash. So you put the system to the single user mode, which only you, the admin, can have access, or super user. And so in this mode, login is disabled for all other users. They cannot log into the server. Network services are disabled, and most file systems will not load, and the demons will be disabled. Examples of the daemon is SSH. The other demons we will see in subsequent classes. So all of those things, will be disabled. And then you have the standard mode with no GUI. You've seen that already. Everything works, just the black screen you see, and the GUI disabled. And init 4 is not used. We currently have init 5, which is the standard mode with GUI, which is what you have right now. That's a fully functional mode of your server. Everything is up and running. The last one, init 6, it reboots or restarts your system. Okay. And the last on our topics today is how to disable the GUI in Linux. Right. This topic kind of continues the run levels. So, how to disable the GUI in Linux. When we say disable the GUI, this is what we mean right here. Okay, let me minimize that. This is what we mean. So this is what we mean. So this server, where you see just a black screen, the GUI has been disabled. Okay, the desktop has been disabled. You don't see, just the command line when you type in only commands, and so it gives you this black screen. In most work environments, this is what you will see, just a black screen. Okay, but when the GUI is not disabled, this is what you see. You know, the GUI, you see the GUI say desktop, you know, this is what you see. Okay, an enabled GUI. Right. So I'm going to bring back my command line. Okay, so how do we disable this GUI? That is what we want to look at right now. Okay, that will disable the GUI in Linux. To disable the GUI in Linux, there is a file involved that we have to know. Okay, so let's make a note. File involved. Okay, is etc init tab file. The init tab file sitting in the etc directory. etc init tab. That's a file involved. Okay, and it's simple to disable the GUI in Linux. All we have to do is just vi into that file. So do that with vi into etc init tab, and then with vi we will scroll down. I think I put this in bracket. vi is tab, and then scroll down to the last line and change the number 5. Change the number 5. Number from 5 to 3. Right, save and quit. And lastly, you do your init 6. And what does that do? Init 6 will reboot the system. Okay, that's just the procedure. So when we say we change the number 5, so what are we doing? Remember our ROM levels? We are changing 5 ROM level init 5, which is fully functional, to 3, which is another fully functional but without the GUI. That's what we're doing. So we're going to look at that file real quick. So we want to disable this GUI in this server. Again, I spoke about this in one of our previous classes. We disable the GUI because when the GUI is disabled, the system will boot up faster. Okay, we don't need to enable the system to boot up faster, and the black screen is much more comfortable to see, less, you know, light reflection into the eyes, stuff like that. So that file involved is init etc init tab. Let's cut etc init tab and see. So I cut etc init tab, and that's the last line at the bottom of this system of that file. See, that's a 5 which we have to change right there. Okay, so the solution says vi into that file. I'm going to my vi, etc init tab, hit enter, and I use my down arrow button on my keyboard, and I keep scrolling down, and when it ends, there's the file right there. So I move right to the file with the file selected. To move right, it's simple. If you know your vi well, all I do is I just hit arrow and I hit 5. I mean, hit arrow and I hit 3. Okay, I don't need to switch to insert mode, but while in command mode, I just hit arrow. While I move the black highlight to the number, I hit arrow and I hit 3 to change the character to what I want it to be. So I just change it from 3 to 5, and I do my save and quit, and I've saved the file. So I have changed the boot up the run level or initialization level from 5 to 3. And when I reboot my system, I'm going to reboot the system right now, and it's going to come up without this GUI anymore. The system is rebooting. System is restarting. There it is, restarting the server. It's going to reboot and give us a black screen with the GUI disabled. Give it some few minutes. This is actually faster than when the GUI is enabled. And I advise, you always, from henceforth, working on your server from the level of the black screen, at the run level 3 mode. You don't need the GUI. I mean, you could always enable the GUI. We're going to see how to enable the GUI back. But to fully enable the GUI, we just have to VI back into each sheet in a tab, scroll down to the bottom, and then change that number back to 5 from 3. Then save and quit and reboot the system again. But let's say we are still working on a black screen, and we just temporarily want to get the GUI to do maybe something which will require the GUI. So we will do the command start X. We should know that already. I mentioned one of our classes. Do the command start X. Command start X bracket will enable the GUI. Tempo. Really, that's better, right? Start X will enable the GUI temporarily, and enables the GUI. Do what you want to do, but take note, when you shut down that server and you start it again, maybe another day, the GUI will not be enabled. It will still your blocking, because by default your run level is, the boot up mode is set to run level 3, okay, and not 5. So our system is about fully coming up. Let's give it a few more minutes. Normally it's faster to start up. My RAM speed for this server is not actually a higher figure to enable the thing run faster. So I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and we can address them during our next class. Discuss. You can always go back, watch the video, topic after topic, practice on your server again. It's important to practice each scenario or each topic on your server. I'll be sending out your homework with regards to what we've covered in this video today. So please practice, exercise. That's how you know the stuff. That's how the knowledge sticks in your head and you remember it, and it becomes useful tomorrow. You just have to keep doing it over and over again. So we've looked at So today we cover modifying the network settings of the Linux server from the command line. We saw the file involved the 866 config network that scripts ifcfg-eth0 file or the nm2 command. We saw the scp command. It means secured copy. We use that to transfer files or directories from one server to another. It transfers encrypted data. The data transfers encrypted. It's not plain data. It uses port 22. Also uses SSH, and SSH has to be enabled in both servers for that to be successful. And we saw the command format to transfer files, and this is transfer. This is transfer directory transfer. This is for directory transfer. I think there is a space right here. Yeah, scp-r. Try it without the space and with the space. There should be a space right here. And we looked at little scenarios to achieve that goal. Exercise 1 and exercise 2. Also, we looked at run levels in Unix and Linux. Different run levels. Most scenarios would work with run level 6, which is reboot 3 and 5. Okay, that's our system. See, now it brought up back the login screen. It didn't bring it back with the GUI where you have to put in the root the username root, and you see type the word root showing up, but it brought up the black screen. So I'm gonna type in my username and put in the password. Remember, it doesn't show when you put in the password, and boom, I am logged into the server. See, it gives me my prompt back. So we've succeeded in disabling the GUI in the server. You can verify the run level. What's the command again? U-R, hit enter, and there it is, run level 3. Before it was run level 5. So this brings the end of today's class, or the end of this video. See you during next class, and again, practice. Look forward for the homework, which will be uploaded anytime, any day within the week or as the days go by. Please endeavor to do them. It's gonna benefit you a lot more. Practice. There's a lot of material to study. If you have any question, give me a call, text, whatever. I'm always open. And you have a blessed rest of your day. Bye.